Hey everybody, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. We are diving into our next comparison video, and this time we're looking at black inks that are supposedly good with alcohol markers. That's your Copics, your Spectrum Noirs, Master Marker, etc. So we're going to test them out, and I'll go through that in a minute. But this is not a price comparison video because they're all pretty comparable. So make sure you're shopping around, and I'll link below different places to find them. So here we go.
All right, let's just get right into this insanity that I have signed up for. Very interested to know which is the best black ink for alcohol marker coloring. I have Fawn Jet Black, Simon Says Stamp Intense Black, Hero Arts Intense Black, Memento Tuxedo Black, Ink on 3 Blackout Detail, Picket Fence Black Hybrid, Nouveau Hybrid, and Midnight from Catherine Pooler, My Favorite Things Extreme Black, and Gina K Amalgam Ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp an image and immediately cover it with Copic markers. We're going to see which one dries the fastest, and then we're also going to let them sit for a few seconds and then color. And this way we'll be able to see if there's a difference if we just let it dry a little bit. So that is how we're going to test these out. I'm going to use the image from this Fawn Manatee-rific stamp set. I feel like it gives me enough area to put some ink on, and I'm going to cross the lines so we can see if it smears. Speaking of Fawn, that's going to be the first ink that we're testing out today. So I'm going to stamp the image with this jet black ink, and we are going to be using an Arteza alcohol marker here on the chisel side. When stamping with dye inks, you want to hold the image to the paper for a few seconds so the dye can soak in. That's a really good image there. And then we're going to take the marker right to it. Okay, so I don't see any obvious smearing, and especially, I mean, we are definitely testing this process because we're not giving it not even 3 seconds to dry. So even with that, there is really not any noticeable smearing, as you can see. Next is Simon Says Stamp. Simon Says Stamp gives a very crisp, dark black image, very good ink for stamping. It makes the image a little bit thicker of a line, which I didn't even know was a thing. And so that's interesting. But right after I laid down all that ink, I'm still not getting any obvious smearing. There is a tiny bit right by the line, but again, this is testing after 3 seconds. Next is Hero Arts Intense Black. Really good stamped image as well. All right, so again, I would say there's slight smearing right around the line, like from the line out, but not obvious, not anything too bad. Next is Memento Tuxedo Black. This is the ink that I've been using for alcohol markers since the dawn of my alcohol marker learning. Okay, so this is very good. I think I pressed too hard on that one, but very good thick line, really nice coverage, and again, the same amount of smearing. I can't even call it smearing. I mean, you guys can see that. I'm pretty close up. So I would say these, so far, so great. Ink on 3. This is Blackout Detail Ink. 1, 2, 3. Get it? Ink on 3. Okay. All right, great image. Okay, so a little bit of smearing right here on the outside, and a little bit down here, but, you know, not bad. I think I really was anticipating much worse because, I mean, I'm putting the ink right down, but this really dries quickly. Nouveau Hybrid Inkpad. It says fast drying, all surface ink. I'll be the judge of that, Nouveau. It's an interesting pad. It's because it's all up like this. I don't know, it seems higher than others. Maybe not. Maybe it's just the shape of the Nouveau. Okay, a good image, not too bad. A little tiny splotchiness. Not as thick as this line, but, oh, let me get to coloring. Oh no, was I fast enough? You guys won't judge that one. Okay, so pretty good. So far, I'm thinking that this comparison video is a bust, and I'm wasting everybody's time. Stick with me. All right, Picket Fence Black Hybrid Inkpad. Okay, that's a splotchy image. No smearing though, but it is a splotchy image. So we're going to come back to Picket Fence and try something else with that. We have Catherine Puller's Midnight Ink, Premium Archival Ink. And as of note, this ink does stain your stamps. That's why this is blacked out on my image. If I were to get that black ink inside the image, it would stain that as well. So you want to be careful when you are pressing down on the ink pad that you're only tapping it, or else you'll get black everywhere. I don't mind the black as long as it looks like this, because it kind of shows my image up. It's okay, and it doesn't hurt the stamps. But again, you want to just be careful. If you smash too hard on it, you're going to get a completely blacked out image. It's just not going to look good. It won't affect your stamp image, but you won't be able to see it as easily. Okay, that's a really good stark image right there. And there's lots of smearing on this one right away if we take the marker right to it. So I would say, I mean, you can see that for yourself, but I would say of all of them so far, the immediate smearing happens with this. We'll see if that holds up though when we come back to it after it's dried. We have My Favorite Things, Extreme Black. Wow, that is a really dark, thick image. Okay, held up pretty well. Probably, yeah. Now that I'm looking at the Catherine Puller one, I don't really see, I still see, never mind. I still see a little bit of smearing right there. Again, we're getting down to the fine tooth of it, right? And then lastly, we have Gina K Amalgam Ink. All right, very good stamped image. That's good. Okay, and I don't really see any smearing, anything different from any of the other ones. So I think as of now, this is pretty comparable for all of the inks. Catherine Puller was probably the one that smeared the most right off the jump, but now that they've all had time to dry, what I'm going to do is go back in with a pink alcohol marker. All right, so I have the names now listed above, so I can speak a little bit easier to it. Okay, so what do I think about this? Is just the first round. This is without a stamp positioner, so that keep that in mind. And I would say Catherine Puller still smeared after I let it dry for a few minutes, so that I wouldn't feel confident coloring my whole image or stamping my whole image with this. However, if you've had luck with the Catherine Puller and your alcohol markers, please let us know, because maybe I'm doing something wrong, okay? And then Picket Fence, I did not get a good image. So I would say the Nouveau and the Picket Fence impressed me the least, but I also have to take into consideration that I'm on a hard surface and I'm not using a stamp positioner. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to try to do these two over with a foam pad underneath. All right, Picket Fence, you're back in the game. Let's see what we can do, because not everybody has a stamp positioner. So are there ways that we can make this image come out better the first go round? So this again is the Picket Fence. We're going to press this down, hold it for a couple seconds, and we are going to get a drastically better image than we did the first time. You know what I probably should have done? Probably should have put that image right under the old one. Come on, Mary. Get it together. Okay, so now you can see, you can compare when you use some foam underneath it, how it's going to look. So that's a lot better. I'm much happier with that image. You don't have to get one of these for specific ones. You can use probably some fun foam in your stash. Try that, just something with a little bit of give. And we're going to try the Nuvo one again as well. Here we have the old Nouveau image up here. We're going to put this one down. I can feel it giving underneath, so it's helping me stamp that image in. Again, very good image. So foam pads are our friends. Okay, so let's do a really quick recap of what we learned here today. The first thing that we learned was that these inks pretty much all do a great job and that I have potentially wasted your time. The second thing is that using a foam pad could change and help your images become more clear and crisp, so that's helpful. And that some of these inks actually stamp out a little thicker, making your image look a little thicker than others. So the MFT image is incredible. That's a really, really good image. So is the Memento. And then we also learned that I now have entirely too many black inks that work with alcohol markers. However, oh wait, there's two more. Hold on. However, I will tell you that Corin Wiskman and I are doing an On the Make event very soon. That's an in-person crafty event. So I'm sure we will get lots of use out of these inks. All right, so that's all for today. Thanks so much for stopping by and for hanging in with me. Comment below what your favorite black ink is to use with alcohol markers, or just your favorite black ink in general. And also if you have any questions, and we'll chat down below. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.